Okay, so this is a Rimuru MGTOW video. My account got hacked. It's gonna be a while until I can recover it. But for now, these videos will be for temporary use, and I will put them right back up on my Rimuru channel when it's back up. So here's something that was on my mind heavy of why I became successful versus why I didn't become successful, and the real reason why is because of passion. Back when I was a virgin, I had the most passion. Back when I was getting heavily criticized is when I had the most passion. So people are wondering today, whatever happened to your passion? This is a very personal story I have to get into because a lot of people are wondering, why don't you go all out in things like you used to? Why don't you do this and that like you used to? Why don't you, put in the maximum effort like how you did with Sabo? Why don't you put multiple layers for AMVs? Why don't you make AMVs like the one you did with Beat It instead of the new AMVs with no special effects at all when you just literally just master clips? Do you know why? It's because I learned the power that less is more. I wouldn't be able to network with those rappers if the color correction got in the way of the message. So literally, I wouldn't be able to network with all those people if I stayed in my own little world. This is when I had the most passion, but then I realized why less is more. They want me to go all out and do this. Now it happened. They forgot how much pain I was going through. It's because the more you focus on your passion instead of being multidimensional, the more people can use that multidimensionality against you. And literally, the more that they can be like, what you're doing ain't shit because they ain't doing shit. It's the ultimate form of reverse psychology. It's the same way somebody can get away with talking shit on YouTube with no videos up, criticizing your videos. I've had that happen before. I've had somebody criticize an AMV of mine, and he had no videos up, and he had a Photoshop custom wallpaper. And I realized why less is more, and it got to a point where I forgot how to make those special effects. I forgot how to do this and that. Less is more. They talk about, why aren't you so passionate? Why are you so cold? Why aren't you happy-go-lucky? It's because you beat the SpongeBob of work right out of me. There's a time where I could be corny and get away with it, and nobody would trip because I'm an adult now. We don't have any pressure, unlike high school, but they made it literally just like that. And instead of saying, be like everybody else, they say, get your shit together. I'm like, okay, so I grew up a whole life when achieving achievements after achievements, and all you guys do is slander it and say, yo, we don't give a fuck about that, after putting me under pressure to surpass it. I stopped being passionate on my own accord because I got sick and tired of me putting all this work and getting no benefit. When I put the least work, I got the most benefit. Yes, I understand that I was able to do more crazy things when I was younger. I was able to literally dance more, animated, but I wasn't able to dance with more precision. I have one-hitter careers that can kill me back in high school, but when I was in high school, I had the most passion for dancing, but I was relying on that shit to survive. When I first started ARO, when I had nothing but motivation, they did the same thing that they did with Geo. They slandered my fucking battle with Sabo, said that it wasn't shit, all that perspective. Literally, until a point where my heat-on battle didn't mean shit. It didn't matter what I was doing, so I'm like, okay, how about not caring about the situation so there's nothing at my expense? When you're passionate, it holds a weight. Because I put my whole life into anime hip-hop, and made me feel so special because they put the whole spotlight on me. It is because I am the one who put in the most work is why they made fun of me the most. They think that I never improve, and really they're putting the spotlight on me, so I'm the only one that improves where they all stay the same. You know why I stopped being passionate? So I can stop being number one. I stopped being passionate about women because they would always put me in dangerous situations. They would always try to fuck me over no matter what. No matter where I went, they would always make sure I'm comfortable. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to turn asexual then. If you're going to go out, if you're going to cock block me from women who actually like me for who I am, then I'm going to just stay out the way. There's no reason for me to deal with competition. There's no reason for me to deal with any of that shit anymore. There's no reason for me to be passionate about everything because you made sure that everything got standard to a point to where it doesn't matter. Why would I be passionate about something like that? Why would I be? Just put yourself in my shoes. Would you put in the effort where everybody says don't focus on colors, just literally master clips with an actual fucking meaning? So what happened was this: it actually took more effort than what I thought it would, even though I was putting in more time. The reason why it was all fucked up was because it was the equivalent of a guy being hyped on Adderall, which is why I had to rewrite so many times, because there were major flaws in the storyline because I was so passionate. I had tunnel vision. And that is why I stopped being so passionate, so I can absorb the situation. Not to a point when we get like Arturo, where we value rap other than having a good time, to a point where we have to be gangster all the time, saying everything in a specific tone instead of being free. You don't have to do it to a point where nothing matters and nothing can make you smile, but you have to do it to the extent where you know that it's a dangerous road out there and you have to be aware of your surroundings. You can't let yourself get bullied out there. You can't put in effort when you know you're gonna get fucked in the end. I stopped being passionate. I used to dance every single fucking day, twice a day, but now I barely freaking dance compared to what I used to in high school, but I was dancing to survive. I was literally being in my own little world, trying to escape people talking shit to me from school, and that's why I had so much passion. I got lost in my media to a point where it's like, you know what? If I keep on focusing on this, it won't matter if I reach my goal at that time, because I keep on working on it. I'm gonna use the Justin principle and say, fuck yes, of course I'm working on it, because this is all I'm fucking doing. This is the same reason why, you eat chili mac every fucking day. Isn't it cool that I eat chili mac? I'm like, no, because that's all you fucking eat. And the shit that I would do where I'm out to nothing more than a chili mac bowl. I put in all this special effects, I put in this and that, just for you people to say it's too much. I'm like, so I'm not gonna do anything at all. And I receive benefits after benefits after benefits. If I achieve my goal, it wouldn't be special unless I was multidimensional. I stopped putting in the effort because they were saying that when I put in the effort, if they actually put in the effort back, then yeah, I would. But they have to put in the effort first. So something's at their expense before I give it up. You're gonna change? Okay, let me see you change. And then I might work with you, but I'm gonna work with you at a point where I observe the situation before I dip my foot in the water. Because look what happened with wrestling. Look what happened with all this stuff. All these disappointments. All that work I put in for nothing. That is why I stopped being passionate. When I let go of my emotion towards the situation, I failed to let the situation control me. Why don't you go back to literally do this now? Why don't you go back to your talent? Because you know it puts me at a disadvantage, because it's putting me in my own little world instead of being observant of the reality. Literally, a lot of people used to praise me in high school for literally dancing, but whenever I would ask a girl out, I was the shit then. But you're so talented, it doesn't matter, what you're doing is outwearing woman. No, it's not. Sorry, I wouldn't be feeling that way if it wasn't. Women are more multi-dimensional by default. I'm sorry, when you get a woman, you get access to everything. You get access to social connections. Nobody can prove you wrong once you have that woman. It doesn't matter how. On the outside, if you have a woman, you have connections to everything, and your life is more multi-dimensional by default. The reason why I stopped being passionate is because it got me emotionally attached, not just to my personal hobbies, but to women as well. When I stopped caring if I'm gonna get laid or not, is when they started begging for my attention. I'm like, okay, am I gonna fuck or not? She's like, you should be more desperate. You should try to get in my pants. You should try to do this and that through her axes. All this other guys are all like, you need to be more passionate. You can't just let your personal life get in the way of having fun. Which is the stupidest fucking way, but they deliver it in a way like we're all in the same boat. You have to make the best out of the situation. I'm like, no, I don't have to be in that situation. It's like passion leads to suffering. No, it doesn't. What you have to do is you have to treat your passion like a passion and stop letting other people slander it and stop slandering it from yourself. If you cared about it, then you wouldn't hold on to it like there's nothing else. You would give it time to breathe. You would literally be able to let it go so you can be free. So you both don't have an emotional tie. I stopped being passionate because I realized that less is more. I got so obsessed with the less and more that I stopped thinking the same way. I stopped having creative ideas. What I have is literally I mastered the art of an archetype to a point where I start focusing on what I know is going to work instead of what might work. Oh, this is a dangerously good idea. It's going to work. But instead of that, I'm analyzing it by second nature first thing within a second, so I don't have to waste no time. If it's not going to work, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do my research before I do that. And sometimes I don't even have to do research. Sometimes I just have to look outside. Look what happened to the other person. Look what happened to that person with all that passion. They used him as a guinea pig. And that's what happened to me. So many fucking places, so many this and that. They didn't have passion for shit. Seymour's generation looked at me, literally. There are a lot of people who looked up to me, especially the black people that were in Seymour's generation, being like, they told me street code, literally, you do not belong here. You have too much of a soul. And they grow up on memes. I stopped being passionate because of the fucking meme generation. I stopped being passionate because literally they didn't want to be anime anymore. So I'm like, okay, let's be basic. And I became the most basic of the basic people you will ever see. I became extremely popular, but I accepted the fact that you have to be basic. I accepted the fact that you trying to be unique, you trying to force your view of the world to other people is only going to draw people farther and farther away from you. Having tunnel vision is never going to work. And you making up for it saying that you're passionate, when people get away with less effort is literally why you are stuck putting in most of the work and everybody's putting reverse psychology like you haven't improved because you're the only one that has to deal with the stress. You're the only one put under pressure when you have passion, because when you have passion, you're a target. When you let it go, it puts them in a position to chase after you so they can fall for your trap instead.